Welcome, I'm Rob. Welcome to my show, Meats and Cheats. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my passion for an animal-based diet. I'm also going to be sharing my passion for food that's a little bit naughty. Wise man once said to me, everything in moderation, including moderation. So you ready? Let's do this. Right, let's go. Probably my really. Are you actually? I'll sort that out. So yeah, this is amateur content. We're cutting grass today. That's how we roll. It's October. So probably one of my favourite junk foods has to be fried chicken. There's nothing good for you about it, but everyone loves fried chicken. So to make your own, you get to control some of the bits you have in there. So my tip is always start with a small chicken, because you're aiming for that golden colour. Now if you haven't got a pressure cooker like KFC or anything like that, it's obviously your priority is to make sure the chicken's cooked. So that's got to be your first priority. But the benefit of using a smaller chicken is you can cook it through properly and not end up with over browning of your chicken. So you got to take this bird in hand, you got to treat her nice. First thing I always do is I always come down with the knife, and then I'm folding out and I'm listening for that crack, and you'll see where the joint breaks through. And then when you get it right, you can just cut through and take your thigh out. And something I'm finding more and more when you're doing this with your chickens, you're getting them not very nice gut bits in. But I always break this bone off because it's not adding anything. And then I get my chicken and I just cut down like that. So that's going to give me my thigh, a bit of nastiness on there. And I always take this flappy bit of skin off as well. Same thing the other side. So I'm going to cut down. I'm going to listen for that snap. This time it's come apart differently, so I'm not going to have to take that bit off because it's separated differently this time. Same thing, cut down, 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks. So the next thing I do is I tend to come about halfway across the breast like this, and then I bring it down diagonally. And again, you're listening for that crack. And you're going to find a nice bit where it separates off. Sometimes easy. Other times not. Again, the other side. Just down through there. And this one's come out easy. So I've already got my 6 pieces. And this bit can be a bit of a challenge. So what I do is I come around, I take that out, and I try and separate all of that. So I take the spine out. And it's the last thing. I mean, sometimes if you go to KFC, you get that lovely premium bit, and everyone loves the best bit. But I don't do it like that. I cut it down through the spine, separate it out, and actually I've destroyed that, so we're not going to bother with that bit today. We'll is that going to work with the mower?
Just have to acknowledge it. It's life, isn't it?
That's life, that's what people say. So if we ever reshoot this video, we'll do one where we don't destroy the breast, but that's okay, because we're going to end up with some nice chicken here. I'll boil that up for a stock another time, nothing will go to waste. So what I've ended up with is 6 pieces of chicken, 2 destroyed breasts, which, to be honest, I'm not bothered with breast meat anyway, and a perfectly cut lawn. I'm going to start with buttermilk, 2 generous tablespoons of Angus and oink Nashville hot seasoning. I'm just going to give it all a whirl so it combines. So pop them into there, just make sure everything's got a good coat of buttermilk. So once you've got all this into here, you're going to leave it for 24 hours. In fact, we're going to leave it for 24 hours, and then we'll go off and do some other things. Amazingly, been marinating this for 24 hours now. Amazingly, my neighbour is still cutting her grass. Got 250 grams of plain flour in here. We're going to add equal parts corn flour. Then we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of rice flour. Now this just lightens up the batter and gives it the crunch, because you guys will know when you go to KFC, quite often the coating is lovely, but the coating can be a little bit soggy. It's the corn flour and the rice flour that's going to give it that crunch. I'm just going to add in a couple of tablespoons ish. And if we want it hot, let's have a tablespoon of that in there as well. So this is always a messy job, but the payoff is always worth it. So I do 1 piece at a time, and I'm just looking to give it a light coating, and then I put them on this rack, and we're going to leave them. Now you want to be leaving these probably at least half an hour to an hour, because what you're going to find is the buttermilk is going to come through. So where it looks all dry at the moment, it's going to go damp again, and then once it goes damp, you can get more of your coating into your chicken. Giving these little bad boys about an hour. As you can see, they've started to. You see where the buttermilk has started to come through, and you've got those wet spots. So all I do, back into the batter, or the flour, sorry, seasoned flour. Yeah, nice. That's plenty hot enough. In fact, it's too hot. That's 195 at the moment. So it's actually not a bad thing, because when you add the chicken to the fat, it's gonna pull the temperature down. So that's when we do that. You can deep fry on a barbecue, but what you have to remember is that you're not heating the fat directly. So you want to have your grill running hotter than what the fat is. So as soon as I'm starting to get into the stage where I'm ready to add chicken, I'm going to crank everything up to full blast. You're going to go at least 75 stay alive, but I've found with fried chicken, it doesn't really dry out. So it's really, once you get to safe cooking temperature, you're really playing for colour. When I'm cooking my chicken, once I've got it to safe temperature, I take it off and I just stand it on the side and I give it like a second bake. So I'm baking the oil out of it, just like that. Of course, we eat with our eyes first, and one of the things that my pal Kev is very good at, Edge Barbecue, fellow Friendly Fire Collective member, he loves the garnish. So some of the inspiration I've taken from him is just to give it a bit of an element. So we're just going to chop some chives. So these have got a bit more colour than I would like, but it's most important that they're cooked, more important than anything. So when you have a look at this, it's got a nice crunch to it. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a garnish. This doesn't really do anything for the chicken, but as you know, you eat with your eyes first, so it just gives it a nice element to it to wow your guests. And then we're going to go a bit decadent. We're going to have some of this JD's hot honey over the top, and then we're going to take it to another new level. We're going to put some buffalo sauce from Angus and oink on. So this was my barbecue fried chicken. We started off with a whole chicken. We cut it into portions. Alongside that, we took some buttermilk and we added some Angus and oink Nashville hot chicken seasoning. Popped all that into there. We popped the chicken into the buttermilk and we marinated it for 24 hours. Whilst we were doing that, and it was marinating, we started on the bread coating, where we took 250 grams of plain flour, 250 grams of corn flour and a couple of tablespoons of rice flour. And because we're feeling bold, we added some of the hot chicken seasoning into the flour. Once we had left it for 24 hours, we rolled it in the flour. We set them on the side to dry. Beyond that, when it's been stood for half an hour, we started to see that the buttermilk was going a bit soggy, so we added it to a second coat of flour. So we cooked on the Genesis. We had the Weber 2-in-1 Dutch oven, and we had it filled with beef dripping, Britannia beef dripping, in fact. Shazam! So we cooked on the Genesis using beef dripping in the Weber Dutch oven. Once it came up to a temperature about 180, we batch fried, and because we were only making 6 pieces, we did it all in one go, and we cooked it until it was an internal temperature of 75 degrees. We took it off, we gave it a garnish, we've given it some hot honey and some buffalo sauce, and now we're ready to eat. He just tried the coating on its own. It's alright.
Beautiful, yeah.
See, the chicken is the chicken thigh is probably the less favoured bit. Yeah, that's nice. I'm happy with that. Do a wing as well.
Like layers of flavour in that are lovely.
Yeah.
You get the flavour and then you get the heat, and then the flavour seems to come back.
Try that bit.
Rob's a feeder.
Feeder.
Oh wow. I eat that all day.
What do you think of the beef dripping?
Makes everything better, doesn't it?
Everything is better with beef dripping. So yeah, so this is amateur barbecue, right? We're learning all the time. We've had all sorts of problems today. We've had neighbours cutting grass. We've had the sunlight moving around the garden. But I've really enjoyed making this video, to be honest. I've had a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely going to be making this again. I hope you guys will too. If you liked the video, it's my first one, congratulations. Like and follow the channel. Also, check out Phil, Bruchac Barbecue. Check out Edge Barbecue. It's part of a bigger collective, so we're going to be doing loads of cool stuff in the coming months. Anything could happen.